Coming up this week, off screen,
It's the night he comes home again in Halloween.
we get a second round of Goosebumps.
Forget Batman, we meet Dogman.
We pop on down to the science fair.
And we spend an evening with Beverly, Luff, Linn.
All those to come and more, off screen.
This is Off Screen. Off Screen. Off Screen. Off Screen. With the latest film news and reviews, this is Off Screen, the Movie Marker radio show and podcast.
Ooh, welcome off screen, I'm Ben Connor.
I'm Kelly Needham.
So, Miss Eden, we're back, another round, another week of filmic fun.
Lucky you.
You've been to the pictures this week, haven't you?
I certainly have.
What did you go and see? Because you did text me, and I can't remember what we were...
A Star is Born.
It was A Star is Born.
It was.
Did you love?
I'm broken. Seriously, I needed a good half hour to go over that.
And you're not really the mushy kind, I would
Oh,
say.
you know, I've got a bit of mush in me, but whoa,
Yes.
that caught me.
All the feels?
All the feels.
All the feels. Okay, so before we get to all of our usual fun this week, all of the reviews, the box office top 5, and well, just all the general banter that we love to share. With
All the
everyone.
bants.
All the bants. We need some film news to kick us off this week. What do you got for me then?
Well, I want to ask you about Sean Bean.
I love Sean Bean. He dies a lot, though.
Well, that's kind of the point. So I hear a rumour that the new
That's his
Hitman
point.
game... Well, that's his point.
Yeah.
But the new Hitman game is going to take full advantage of this thing.
Yes, so, okay, Hitman 2, I think it is.
Yes.
Coming out soon. I'm not sure about if it's a reboot or anything like that. I'm not up to date on video games, to be
Me
honest.
neither.
I'm not.
Please, look who you're talking
Like,
to.
there was a new Tomb Raider game out recently, and it took me a while to figure out that was the third one in the series of the only one I've played.
I only just realised that Wii's aren't a thing anymore.
But they're not a thing anymore, no. Then it was the Wii U, and now it's the Switch. So you're 2 consoles behind.
Yeah, I
But,
pride myself on it.
The idea with this new Hitman thing, I think, is that they're doing this interactive DLC, downloadable content kind of thing that all games do now. And they're going to have this thing called Elusive Targets. And these are limited time games that you will be able to play. Missions that you can only have access to for, say, 2 weeks a year.
Right.
You know, next year or something like that. And within one of these games, they have announced that the target will be Sean Bean.
Oh, I see. I get it now.
Yeah.
So because he dies a lot, now lots of people are going to be killing him.
Now, lots of people are going to kill Sean Bean.
Why not?
Right.
sense.
The idea is that they insert him into the maps of the existing game that you've got. So basically, you sort of repeat a level, but your target is Sean Bean. And if you don't manage to kill him, you lose and you can never play again.
And you're a walking wiener coat.
That's it. According to the rules of Sean Bean, he's a walking wiener coach. Was
That was it from Pixels. Honestly, I never get over it. You're walking wiener coat.
That's
That is not a thing.
That's not quite Frey Bentos enough, though, is it? If we're honest. Okay, so before we get to the first review then this week, let's plug Podcast Edition, because it goes everywhere now. So Spotify, we got you on Spotify, Deezer, Acast, Stitcher, that's a thing.
Apple
Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
Ooh.
McDonald's Podcasts, I'm sure, at some point, Starbucks Podcasts. Amazon must have podcasts by now.
I'm sure they will.
If there's a podcast platform, they usually siphon off the same feed, so we're on all of them, realistically.
Lucky for everyone.
Not bad, but I like that we're on Spotify. I heard us on Spotify earlier when I was checking if it was actually a thing, if it was actually working.
How good did I sound?
And we sounded not bad.
I did not say we. I said me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you sounded fabulous, naturally.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
But
Plus, Moment of Cage.
Moment of Cage was amazing last week. And a Moment of Cage is on every Podcast Edition. You get everything after the end credits. You get more film news, more reviews that you couldn't fit into the radio edit. But you get that Moment of Cage. And that's the important part.
That's the important part.
It was last week, it was 1 minute and 20 seconds of Nicolas Cage screaming.
And I listened to every second of it.
I've got you one from my favourite Cage movies this week, actually.
I look forward
I'll just
to it.
say Brian De Palma. Okay. Yeah, so, also, the idents we play in this show, our little jingle themes that we play at ad breaks and things like that. Tweet us at Movie Marker, name all 3 themes. Just put hashtag off-screen themes or off-screen idents at the end. We'll figure it out.
We'll find it.
And if you get all 3 right, you get a DVD at the end of the month. So
And it's a mystery DVD.
it's a mystery
I love
DVD.
that,
If it's going to be like a Mr. Men DVD or something, we don't know.
Well, it could be.
I honestly couldn't tell you. It could be the 2006 action film DOA Dead or Alive, starring Holly Valance. You don't know.
I can only hope.
We can all dream. We can all dream. So, speaking of dreams, our first review of this week.
Tell me about
Right, so for 2 years I have dreamt of a sequel to Goosebumps. You know me, I love Goosebumps. I'm a big fan of, not so much the series, but I loved that movie.
I loved the series too.
It bypassed me a little bit, because obviously you're a couple of years younger than me, so I think it was more targeted.
Dare you, sir? I'm a good 10
your-
years younger than you.
A decade, clearly. But I think it was more aimed specifically at your age
Yes.
bracket, so it bypassed me ever so slightly. It's like that Are You Afraid of the Dark? Same kind of thing. And obviously it came back. This horror novel series sort of came back to franchise form 2 years ago in the form of this Jack Black-led movie that basically turned it all into a great big meta text. So Goosebumps was a work of fiction, but we were just going to go Jumanji with it.
Exactly.
Which was brilliant. And I remember when it came out and I said, this is brilliant. This is this generation's Jumanji. How little did I know that less than a year later, I would be sat in the same screening room.
Watching Jumanji.
watching Jumanji. Welcome to the Jungle, which should have been its title. Starring the lead from Goosebumps. That generation's Jumanji. Imagine my surprise then again when we get a sequel to Goosebumps. Goosebumps 2, Haunted Halloween, starring the younger human iteration of Jack Black from Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
Oh, really?
Yes, and because they've not really kept much of a secret about Jack Black returning, that means both Bethanies are in this.
2 Bethanies.
2 Bethanies for your buck, yo. So 2 Black, 2 Bethany. That's what it is. 2
Black, 2 Bethany. So what's the story?
Right, so the premise this time is this takes place in a small town in which R.L. Stein comes from. R.L. Stein spent his first 15 years in this small town. It happened to be when Nikola Tesla had, decades earlier, gone and formed a giant machine, some revolutionary machine as part of his current war with, which is going to be a whole other movie starring Michael Shannon and Benedict Cumberbatch. And this thing never got switched on, and it sits there like a giant radio antenna over the town. Right. And in this town, you find 2 bored teens, sort of tweens, kind of like 13, 14 kind of age. One of them is the chubby young John Ritter from It, from the remake of It, Jeremy Ray Taylor, and the other kid is Khalil Harris, who was in something I remember and I've forgotten now. They are trying to make ends meet in that sort of family movie style. They're trying to make a name for themselves, clearing junk from houses.
Aww.
As you do when you're 13, 14.
Yeah,
little do they know.
Leaves,
exactly.
Washing cars.
Exactly. Not in that fun Liv Tyler way, One Night McCall's way. But anyway, so that went a bit. It's Always Sunny then. But so one day they get a house to clear, and it happens to be the former home of Mr. R.L. Stein, his childhood home, where they find a hidden door, and behind a hidden door they find a hidden book, and in this hidden book they find a never before seen manuscript for a never released Goosebumps tale called Haunted Halloween. And by accidentally opening it, as the first movie taught us, bad things will come out. Only this bad thing is Slappy, the killer ventriloquist dummy from the first movie, who happens to sound an awful lot like R.L. Stein, I think we're led to believe, who this time around seems to have learnt the error of his ways and now just wants to be part of a family. Aww. His adopted family with the kids who have discovered him, and he wants to make their lives better. And when they react badly, Slappy reacts badly. And when Slappy reacts badly, he goes and brings inanimate objects to life. And this movie's taking place on Halloween, and here is Ken Jeong inflating a giant inflatable spider around his house.
Halloween with pumpkins and mice. Halloween, it's so nice. Halloween
faster,
with
faster.
Pumpkins and mice. Hey, Kathy. Hey, kids.
Mr. Chu, wow, you've practically got a theme park here.
Check this out. Oh, my. Oh, it's like being in the movies. I'm going to have these puppies up and running in no time. For the kids.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
He doesn't actually have kids, does he?
No, he does not.
You would think, going into this film, given that Jack Black isn't prominently on the marketing and they've not made any real effort beyond Slappy, there's no real effort to sort of tie this into the first movie. When you actually get into it, what you get is something that's It's not quite the surprisingly intricate sequel that something like Final Destination 2 turned out to be, because that looked like a movie that had nothing to do with the first one, and then it turned out actually it had everything to do with it. And that was kind of the weird success story of that series, that they were found a sort of sneaky way to do that. This plays closer, arguably, to Jumanji. Imagine that. I mean, in that way that Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle was a sequel to Jumanji, this is a sequel to Goosebumps. And as such, obviously Jack Black is not your main character. You're not going to get my boy Dylan Minnette turning up in here.
Shame.
No Odeya Rush. No Gillian Bell.
Yeah, well,
None
I'm grateful for that.
You don't like Gillian Bell?
You know how I feel.
I know. Okay, so this is I went into it thinking this has all the makings of a really slapdash, put-together sequel. This is Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the long
74.
haul or whatever it is, I came out pleasantly surprised. I thought it was actually a lot more fun and a lot more intricately laid out to tie in with that first movie. The events of that first movie, for instance, are referenced. And, of course, Jack Black is in it, so there has to be a reason that he's in it, and the reason's actually kind of fun. It is worth saying he does get some time to shine. Both kids, I think, are really good. I believe... Oh, man, I've actually almost forgotten her name now. The teen actress in this, Madison Eisman.
Madison.
I want to call her Iceman. Madison Eisman, who is Bethany the Insta girl in Jumanji 2. And was also in Annabelle 3, apparently.
Is she?
I learned she's going to be in the next Annabelle movie, which is, we've got film news about that as well, by the way.
Sweet, we'll get to that.
Yeah. I think she makes for a pretty likeable lead. There's a bit more depth to, obviously, for less comedic reasons than Jumanji, because she was more of a foil in that, whereas now she's more of a hero. And, Slappy is just a fun character. In that way, though, that first movie had what I keep referring to as the Goosebumps formula, which Fantastic Beasts ripped off. The idea of just set things loose and go and catch them.
Yeah.
This plays almost more like child's play for kids.
Ooh.
So imagine Chucky in a family-friendly movie.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, that's kind of what you get at times with this. And by the time it does all come together, what it does go for then is something more like Hocus Pocus.
Okay.
And I'm cool with that. I'm on board with that. I actually think they should keep this Goosebumps thing going, release a Goosebumps movie every 3 years, and in the meanwhile, just give us little Conjuring spin-off style movies about all the other Goosebumps characters, because seriously, this is the family-friendly Conjuring universe.
Nice.
And I am so down with that. Jack Black's fun. I love Slappy to death. It seems like this apparently works if you swap out the entire cast otherwise, in which case I'm great, because this has got say Ken Jeong's in it, Wendy McClendon Covey, whose name I can never get right, is in this pretty good sort of stock character as a sort of foiled mum, and last but not least, Chris Parnell, Dr. Spaceman from 30 Rock, and Jerry from Rick and Morty.
Nice.
Jerry,
I know him more for his voice. It's such a distinctive voice.
It is, and he does so much animation work as well.
Yeah.
And he does have such a great voice, but he's fantastic in 30 Rock. His name is Dr. Spaceman.
Spaceman.
Leo Spaceman. But Tracy Morgan refers to him as Dr. Spaceman.
Yes, I remember. I need to rewatch 30 Rock. So good.
So good. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. This one's directed not by Rob Liebman, but by Ari Sandel, who made The Duff.
Sweet.
Yeah, and then followed up with the really awful When We First Met, or whatever it was, with Adam Devine and
the Netflix.
Dario. Yeah.
Yeah, let's pretend that one didn't happen.
Let's not. But The Duff happened. The Duff was awesome.
The Duff was amazing.
And this is awesome too. And it has something. It's a bit more Scooby-Doo-ish than the first one was. In fact, that was the sequel I was expecting when I went into this. Scooby-Doo 2: Monsters Unleashed, which sucked.
It really did.
This did not suck. This was awesome. I had a hell of a time with it. I laughed. I sat there on a Saturday morning on my own in a multiplex, laughing myself senseless through this. There is a sequel to my favourite gag from the first movie. I'm not going to tell you anything about it, but
you better not.
My very favourite gag from that first movie, which I think I actually mentioned the gag in the original Goosebumps review, but that gag gets a sequel, and I've never been happier. I really haven't.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised to hear this, because I really thought it was going to be a pilot.
Yeah, exactly. No. There's far worse films to come out this week. Goosebumps, though. Goosebumps 2, Haunted Halloween. Check it out. I had so much fun with this. And if you even vaguely like the first movie, you're going to have equally a good time with this.
Awesome.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the Movie Marker radio show and podcast.
And we're back, Ms. Needham. So, don't forget, tweet at Movie Marker with your 3 identifications for our idents for this week.
Mystery DVD.
Murder Mystery DVD. We don't know. It might be Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. We don't know.
Well, I'm sure they're hoping for it now.
At one point, that movie was called Scooby-Doo, like T-O-O. And I really loved that title.
I was going to say, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Why did the movie people ruin everything?
I don't know. Same reason it was called Fast and Furious 5 Rio Heist in this country.
Was it?
It was. Officially, that's what that film was called.
Well, whatever.
So, let's talk about something a bit more off the beaten path, shall we?
I want to know who Beverly Luff Linn is and why are we spending an evening with her?
Not her, him.
Him?
He is Craig Robinson. Yeah.
Ah.
Oh, yeah. So, Beverly Loughlin, I think it's meant to be Loughlin. And they've sort of changed it as a stage name to Luff Linn. L-U-F-F space L-I-N-N.
Okay.
Beverly Luff Linn. He is... Despite the fact he's presented to us throughout this movie as some sort of stage magician, he's actually a sort of folksy singer. Right. And he's a folksy singer who, in preparation for his shows, does not speak a word so as to preserve his voice. So he communicates only in kind of noises.
Man noises.
Yeah, pooping noises.
Man pooping noises.
Man pooping noises. Right. So one day you have a coffee shop worker played by Aubrey Plaza who's married to her boss, Shane Danger. Shane Danger is played by Emile Hirsch. Emile Hirsch...
What?
Reality's answer to Vincent Chase, seems to think he's Nicolas Cage now. Anyway, so Lulu, Aubrey Plaza's character, who is married to Shane Danger, reacts badly one night when Shane Danger decides he's going to go and rob Lulu's vegan cousin's shop and steal his cash box, which is just a lockbox. Now, this is all staged, by the way, like it's taking place in 1973.
Right.
Right, with the style and noir... synthwave kind of sensibilities of 83.
Wow,
it's taking,
synth?
Yeah,
That's not been
it's
done.
not been done, has it? It's taking place in the modern day, though. Right.
What?
Wait for it.
Okay.
It's just everyone just looks like it's 83.
Right.
Okay, so in the meanwhile, the vegan guy hires a professional to go and steal his cash box back from Shane Danger. Vegan guy is Jermaine Clement from...
Flight of the
Conchords, thank you. I was going to say the Mighty Birds then. I was like...
The Mighty Birds.
I was like, Mighty Boosh and Conchords makes Mighty Birds. Anyway, right. So, Jermaine Clement is hired to go and retrieve the cash box. He winds up running off with Lulu. Lulu secons him away to a remote hotel where she, having discovered that an evening with Beverly Luff Linn, a limited musical performance, is to take place there one evening. She has something of a mysterious past with Mr. Luff Linn. Meanwhile, the professional / hitman begins to develop feelings for her. She doesn't reciprocate. And this all comes to us from the director of Greasy Strangler. So here's a clip.
Good evening. I'm the captain. What can I get you folks?
I would like a rumble in the heather.
And I'll have a rum and a ramble.
Coming up.
You know, those might have poo on them. You don't want to get poo in your mouth, do you?
Oh, no. No, we're not eating these poo nuts.
Here you go, ma'am. Here's your drink. And there you go, sir.
Thank you, Captain. And let's get some fresh nuts, huh? Poo nuts. You know what I'm talking about.
Poo nuts.
I know. Right. For the longest time, I couldn't figure out what the hell this was meant to be. As I say, it comes from Jim Hosking, who brought us The Greasy Strangler last year, which came with all sorts of hype around it and festival buzz, and you watched it, and it was just one of the most despicable films I'd seen in a while. It was just a movie that was so smug and self-satisfied.
Did you feel greasier than The Greasy Strangler?
Yeah, I did. I actually felt that going through. I didn't laugh once. I didn't get any of its comedic sensibility. Now, to be fair, I didn't get the comedic sensibility. I felt exactly the same about this for the longest time I was watching it. Then, I think something like about 2/3 of the way through, I actually finally landed, I think, on what the film is meant to be. And obviously it intends to be as bad as it is, but it seems kind of self-satisfied in itself that it is as bad as it is.
Okay.
Beyond that, it's pretty much a standard excess baggage-like kind of a story. Girl runs off with criminal who she's playing to her advantage. relationship between them forms or doesn't form accordingly. The problem is none of it's funny, none of it's likeable. It's all, I mean, Jim Hoskin can clearly shoot a film. It's evident that he can, but I think writing it is something he should not be allowed to do. He doesn't seem to grasp that for all the narrative threads he's chucking out, all these character arcs that he sets up, he needs to kind of do something with them. Aubrey Plaza throughout this is just consistently better than the material, and the performance she gives you is infinitely better than what she's been presented with. It's a real Rumpelstiltskin situation. I mean, she is turning crap into gold, but it's still gold crap.
You can only roll the turd in glitter, as they say.
Exactly. By the time you get to the end of it, you think, this has just been unflinchingly bad, but I have to kind of begrudgingly respect how committed it has been, how
being bad.
Unwavering it has been in nailing what has to be the weirdest, most offbeat, awkward tone anyone's tried to commit to film since, incidentally, this director's last actual film. This tone at least connects marginally more than Greasy Strangler, but that doesn't mean it's any better.
It sounds horrific.
It is horrific. Don't see it.
Is this going to get a mainstream release? This does not sound like
It is, because Greasy Strangler was a hit, man. It was.
You should be ashamed.
Well, not a hit, but
public.
it was one of those. It was a buzzy little sleeper thing, wasn't it? It made a couple mil, in midnight screenings and things, as these things are wont to do.
Indeed.
Yes.
Well, it sounds awful to me, and I'm not going to watch it. So there we go.
Okay, quick bit of film news before we get to Dogman. Dogman. Pete Dogman. Right. So we were talking about
Annabelle.
Annabelle, yes, we're talking about Annabelle. So the Warrens are coming back. So we're getting Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga back for Annabelle 3.
Yay!
Which is going to follow their daughter as the central character, who's now going to be a teenager and is threatened by the Annabelle spirit.
Messing with the doll at the end of Conjuring.
Exactly. So the only question is then, what's Conjuring 3 going to be about? Because Annabelle 3 will take place in the future of Conjuring 2. So, after the events of Conjuring 2, so...
I kind of want Conjuring 3 to just go somewhere else. Like, I'm sick of the
90s?
Yep.
Set in the 90s.
Sure. I'm sick of, the current characters that they've introduced, and I don't want them to have Annabelle in it, and I don't want them to have the nun in it.
And the skinny man. Or
the skinny old...
Slenderman? Not Slenderman.
Slenderman, that'd be a new one. What's he called?
Oh, I don't know.
Skinny old man.
I don't remember
Something
anymore.
Like that.
Yeah. But I don't know. Anyway, so that's coming. So, that's also going to be Gary Dauberman's directorial debut, I have learned. He's written all of the spin-offs for the stuff.
Okay.
That's why they have been so patchy.
I'm quite surprised that they're bringing the Warrens into the Annabelle spin-off, because then you kind of do think, what's the point in it being a spin-off?
Yeah. It's kind of like... Why does Chad Kroeger need to go solo if he sounds exactly the same with a full band? It makes no sense.
Just stop singing, Chad.
just knock it off, Chad. Knock it off.
That's enough.
Tell Avs we said hey. Right, so, Dogman.
Pete Dogman. Tell me.
Dogman, which is not a superhero movie.
Oh, you're joking.
No, it's not. No, I did that intentionally because everyone's going to assume this is a superhero movie.
I'm really disappointed.
I can practically hear Nigel Andrews, his voice in my head saying, "Oh, Dogman, not another one of these silly superhero things. I'm going to have to get Van to explain this to me again." Yeah. So that's what I hear every time I think of Dogman.
So anyway, what is Dogman?
Dogman is an Italian film. It is absolutely tremendous. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that one. This is absolutely tremendous. So this is from director Matteo Garrone, and it stars, I'm trying to remember his name, Marcello Fonte and Edoardo Pesce.
Oh, my favourite.
So Marcello Fonte is, imaginatively enough, Marcello, and Edoardo Pesce is Simone. Now, the way this works is they live in a sort of waterfront council estate, it looks like. Tower blocks and sort of inbuilt shops kind of thing. The kind of thing that in this country would be a council estate, but in Italy is still actually kept relatively, nice.
Still looks beautiful.
Right. So the idea is it is lorded over by this coked up, 7 foot tall, built like a brick oven boxer, Simone. Who just bullies everyone, just has his own way, tears your shop up, you're not allowed to say boo to him, just rides his motorcycle threateningly up and down the street. And Marcello, who is the local dog man, which is to say dog sitter / dog groomer, is bullied by Simone into basically enabling him in a robbery. Marcello then takes the fall for robbery, and because he's taken the fall for it, in the eyes of the community, he is cast out. When he's released, he's cast out. He's told to make his own way. And this leaves Marcello not only isolated from the community, but also from Simone, who has welched on the terms of their deal as well. And it's left to Marcello to basically either gain his self-worth, gain his self-respect within the community, or take matters into his own hands.
But what happens to the dogs?
Right, actually, you'd imagine someone took them all home when he gets taken away, but never mind. Okay, so if cruelty to dogs, by the way, is something that makes you win, stay the hell away from this movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just don't. I had fun with my dog trying to watch this movie.
I bet that was fun.
It was fun. You know what Lola's like. So, absolutely terrific performance from Marcello Fento. I think the highlight here is twofold. Matteo Garrone's helming of this is tremendous. There's some gorgeous visuals, and I'm not sure who the cinematographer is offhand. Absolutely terrific visuals in there. The performances, though, specifically between Pesce and Marcello Fonte, I think are absolutely outstanding, particularly Marcello Fonte. I think he's just an absolute revelation here. It's the kind of performance, because obviously the whole story is gearing up to that old nugget of the nerd who has to stand up to the bully.
Yeah.
If you boil it down, it comes up to that idea. It's fist fight.
Yeah.
You know, we saw this recently with Charlie Day doing it in Fist Fight. You know, it is that idea. But because it is a concept that simple, what you've got is a story that's at once timeless and archetypical and essential and gripping. You could make this set in any time period. You could have this as a Western. You could have the story as a Western. You could have this set as in an 1870s period piece. You could have this set on Wall Street. You could make any version of this movie in any language you wanted, and the story would still hold. And really, the story ultimately, as you know, is always going to come down to, well, which way does it go? Does it go with option A for the ending or option B for the ending? And that's for you to discover when you see the movie. Don't wiki it.
And I presume it's in Italian.
And it is, of course, in Italian. It does not matter that the story is so gripping that even if you're not a subtitle person, you'll love this. Really, really, just check this out. It is so good.
Nice.
It is. I went into it expecting nothing. I came out blown away.
And if you're expecting a superhero, you will be disappointed.
Exactly.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the Movie Marker radio show and podcast.
And we're back, Ms. Needham. So, is it time for... is it the top 5 now?
I think it might be.
Number 5.
It's Smallfoot.
I didn't like Smallfoot at all.
Really?
I really didn't. I thought it was like Storks, only worse. But, people told me I'm wrong, and actually it's a great and deep film about fake news. But
is that a layer that you didn't see?
It's not really... I think that's reading a bit much into it.
Too much credit.
I think that's giving it a bit... I don't really think this has got certainly no more narrative complexity than, for instance, The Croods. But...
hey, football's important. Was that the one
No,
about
that was
football?
Early Man. Early Man was one about football. Early Man was actually just bizarre and kind of genius as a result. But because I had a little bit of Terry Gilliam to it, and you have to respect any movie that's got just a little Terry Gilliam in it.
Yeah, if you say so.
So, has anyone tweeted us about which one? Smallfoot. Smallfoot. I was going to say Early Man. Sorry, go on.
Well, Hayley's got something to say. So
Hayley got something to say. Go on.
Hayley Ariel, beautiful.
Oh, yeah?
She says, Smallfoot was really cute AF, lol. I'm such a kid at heart.
Number 4.
First Man.
First Man, which is, do you know what, as NASA porn, it's terrific. In terms of being a space simulator, it's second to none. This tops even Apollo 13 as the definitive man goes to space movie. As in, this is space travel. This is proper war for the moon space travel. You're like, yeah, this really gets that. This is one of those movies that's got every actor you can think of. You know those guys who, they're always about 45 now. And they always look like they come from the 60s.
Yes.
You know, like, Shea Wiggum is one, for instance, from Kong Skull Island. He's one of the soldiers. Like, of course he was, because he had to be there. Ron Livingston
Of
Like
course.
that guy, you're like, of course he's in a movie set in the
Ron
60s.
Livingston is.
Set in the 60s, he's got to be there. Is Corey Stoll here? Of course, there's Corey Stoll. For some reason, Corey Stoll is bald in this, and he's playing Buzz Aldrin. Buzz Aldrin had like a full Burt Ward-style head of hair.
I remember you saying this last week, but you're asking the wrong person. Honestly, like space and stuff is not my bag.
Yeah. The only problem is it's rubbish when it gets to telling you a human story and when it tries to get into the emotional stuff because, frankly, the meat isn't there and trying to downplay it and low energy ball it and the way they do it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't at all. And what you want is something closer to, you know what, this is a thriller, man. This is the story of the greatest achievement in human history. Come on, get just some
Depends who
excitement.
you ask.
Well, yeah, Kubrick, obviously. So, has anyone tweeted?
Well, lucky for you, Dr. Jeff has got something to say.
Dr. Jeff, I love it.
So he's at Bishop Jeff DD, and he says, it's a great review this, I slept through First Man the other day. Greatest waste of a film I've ever witnessed. Or maybe not. And then he has a sleeping emoji.
Okay.
Ryan Gosling slept through it, so I did too. If you think I'm going to stay up and watch you while you sleep, you're cray. I think they were trying to romanticize deep space. Save your money.
That's certainly a review.
Number 3.
Johnny English.
Yeah, I don't get this either. How is it still a thing? It's 2018, man.
Honestly, I just despair.
Okay, well, I haven't seen it, so let's cut straight to the tweet.
Heather, at Scottish Heliza, after taking a day to mull it over, I can confirm reports that Johnny English Strikes Again is one of the funniest films of the year, if not the decade. Hashtag film critic.
Okay, as a hashtag film critic, I'm just going to say, if it took you a day to mull that over, you probably shouldn't be a film critic.
Number 2.
Venom.
Which is garbage. The thing is, it's not bad enough to be stinking garbage, and you want it to be stinking garbage, because
Yeah.
at least
Then you can have fun.
You can have fun, can't you? Like, you and I can sit and watch Catwoman and Green Lantern and poke fun at it, and oh, look how silly Ryan Reynolds looks in his little white pants, and then your eyes glaze over and go, yes, very silly. You know, we have fun, you know?
You know me too
Yeah,
well.
we have fun, like that. This is not one of those films. This is just dull. It feels like it. In fact, at times it reminded me of Spawn. I think it might be because it feels like something from the 1990s, and there's a black gooey dude in it, so it felt a bit like Spawn.
Might as well be the same film.
Well, Spawn is coming out again now, and Jamie Foxx is Spawn this time, and I can't remember what the deal with that one is now.
I have no idea.
Someone else huge is in it, but yeah, Spawn's coming back anyway. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Venom. I take it someone's tweeted who probably loves it. Is that right?
I may have to have a drink before I read this one, so get yourself ready and sit comfortably.
Okay, cool.
At blackboy_TJ. I liked Venom.
Wow. There's what can we say to that? I like it when hot women punch me in the face and tell me I'm garbage. We all have weird things, man.
Number 1.
I don't even think I can say this title. It's still got me.
Go on.
A Star is Born.
A Star is Born and risen to the top of the charts. It's so good though, isn't it?
It is so good.
It is. It definitely got me. I didn't expect it to. I really thought it was going to be all hype. I really did.
I remember asking you about Lady Gaga last week because I think she's a pretentious,
You fell in love with her, didn't you?
I did.
Yes, you did, because I did too.
But then luckily, I watched an interview with her and Graham Norton with Bradley Cooper, and I remembered.
Oh,
why I
yeah,
think
you
she's a
suck as a
pretentious
person. Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember now. Yeah, I love it when you get those.
Yeah. I had to calm myself down from watching that film, so that really grounded me again.
So you had all the feels.
All the feels.
They were breathing
It's
into the
amazing.
paper bag.
Immediately downloaded the soundtrack.
Of course, yeah.
Kept replaying it over and over. Fell in love with Bradley Cooper. It's amazing. You have to go and see it.
That's absolutely fair. That's absolutely fair. So, has anyone tweeted? Do they agree with you?
Courtney and I think we're kindred spirits here. So at Courtney Emrod, and she says, "Can anyone who's seen A Star Is Born talk to me right now? Because I've just left the theatre and I am not well. I am not well."
That sounds pretty confirmed.
That's about right.
Okay, so should we just we're pushed for time, so can I just launch into the next review?
Please do.
So the next film is Science Fair, which it deals with not so much actual regular school science fairs, although they actually are a part of it. Do you don't have science fairs in this country?
I don't think so. No, I never did.
Oh, okay. When I went to school, we did. They weren't as big as they are in here. It certainly seemed that our school wasn't really huge on them. But, okay, so this is a 90-minute Nat Geo documentary. Well, I know, but, say, National Geographic, but there's some heart and soul in this, so this is not like one of their here's how bridges are made.
Okay.
You know, famous bridges of the Yukon kind of documentaries. This is like something with... there's a plot to this. Right, so this involves the International Science and Engineering Fair, or ISEF, as it's called. And the idea is this is basically the Super Bowl for high school science nerds.
Okay.
And high school science nerds from all over the world basically have to apply X Factor style, it would seem, with the project to get in, to even get the chance to compete in this fair. This fair is effectively a massive what's the best scientific creation by a young person this year.
Is it full of exploding volcanoes?
Oh no, quite the opposite. These guys literally come up with ways to cure cancer.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, here's a clip.
I would say that a lot of people are jealous of me.
On deadlines, I'm awful. I wait until the deadline to start working.
I listen to trap music and classical music.
Pass it up. Blast it up full volume.
I actually don't listen to classical music that much. I just listen to mostly trap.
You're not going to cure cancer, you're going to prevent cancer.
Yes!
If you're there just to win the prize, you're missing the point of science fair.
You enter into this new kind of world I didn't even know kind of existed.
It's one of the best weeks of my life, like every time I go there.
Sounds a bit, Justin Kelly. This is how we made it.
Oh my God.
Right, it's really sweet. And it does
sounds nauseating.
It does sound nauseating. Actually, when you get into it, there's a really sweet story being told. And in particular, there's one girl that we were introduced to at one point who... You have to have an adult supervisor on staff at the school when you're competing in these things. Like a teacher you can report to, and can handle sort of the admin side. And because there's no teacher willing to help her, this girl goes to and her school is almost entirely focused on athletics,
right? And
gives all the attention to the sports team, the jocks. And it winds up being the high school coach who takes her on as the adult figure.
Aww.
And as he says, I don't understand a word she says, and just all it takes is me to be supportive. And she shows me stuff that just blows my mind. I don't get any of it, but I'm just there to be the adult.
Aww.
And you're like, okay, that's really sweet, and it is this wonderful story. And that's just one of them, though. Every one of these kids comes with their own sort of, again, X Factor style backstory. But because we follow them in such depth and we get such a sort of unfiltered, very close up position with them, it feels quite heartfelt. It never feels particularly forced. I did come away from it learning stuff.
Like what trap is.
But like what trap is. But here's the thing. I consider myself, for instance, I would consider myself to be generally marginally above average in terms of stuff I know about science.
Okay.
I'm a little bit of a nerd. Largely because I don't sleep an awful lot and I watch a lot of documentaries. So you pick up stuff.
Couple of bits
here and there. Netflix is a wealth of material. But I sat there just drawing the floor through half of this stuff being like, what the hell is this stuff? Like, honestly, there are concepts in here I'd never even heard of. And these are like,
high school kids.
13, 14-year-old kids pitching new ways to scan for cancer and ways to scan human emotions with a scanner on your forehead. And
what?
It's insane, the things these kids come up with. But there is this story underneath it all of we should appreciate our scientists. And ultimately it does kind of build to that point, which is very timely. Given the events of the last 2 years, this could not come at a better time.
I agree.
And it does feel like this has been put together as a method of, look, schools like this that focus purely on athletics and less on the scientific mind, for instance, because there are kids in here who don't graduate high school and don't know how they're going to get into college, and the only way they're going to get in is by competing in this fair, because merely to compete is a massive achievement.
Yeah, and it costs like $100,000 to go to college in America.
Well, exactly, yeah. It's really insane. There's a great moment in which we're introduced to sort of 3 generations of winners of this contest, and it's a really sweet sort of juxtaposition between
Are they all wearing lab coats?
No, they're not. Oh. One man is so old, he's wearing tweed, though. And he's the winner from something like 1938 or something.
Aww.
Yeah, there's some really sweet stuff in it. It's a 90-minute, really breezy, engaging and interesting documentary, and there's some great kids in here that you will see something from again. I mean, there was a 14-year-old girl in this movie who we wind up getting shown went off to run a coding company.
Oh.
She runs a thing teaching coding to underprivileged teens.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
But there's a great sequence as well in which, as part of this conference sort of starting up, which they have like a disco.
Aww.
They have like a little social. And of course, you're talking about kids ranging from like 13 to 17, all of whom are massive science nerds. So in a lot of cases, they've never been to one of these events before, and they're all put into an event together at the same time for the first time.
Silent.
And it's just fun, actually, to witness. It's kind of sweet because they do come alive. And seeing these young kids like come alive for the very first time, they're introduced to a massive room full of people like themselves.
Yeah,
that is incredible because it is really sweet. And there's the guy, the trap guy doing his breakdancing is something that I will treasure.
Sounds amazing.
I will treasure. I really will.
I think it sounds like this film's going to be a gift for science teachers around the world play when it gets to end of term.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely that. Yeah, nauseatingly so. But no, it really sweet though. I thought it was really great. I had a really good time watching it. I came away with a big smile on my face, to be honest.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is Offscreen, the Movie Marker radio show and podcast.
And we're back for one last ride, Ms. Needham.
Should we do some film news?
Yes, film news is always good. What have you got for me?
Talk to me about Aladdin.
Oh, is this the thing about the dude getting stiffed?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What's this all about?
So Terry Rossio, who was one of the co-writers of one of the drafts of Aladdin, the 1992, original Aladdin.
Animated.
He co-wrote that with Ted Elliott, and the two of them would go on to co-write Pirates of the Caribbean and I think, was it Justice League? I think they did at one point. So maybe don't take credit for everything. Yeah. But he has revealed that, with the Aladdin teaser trailer coming out this last week for the live-action remake, well, obviously the only bits of dialogue in there reference heavily the original Disney animated film, rather than, the classical
as you would
story.
Expect.
Yeah, as you would expect. Same reason that Beauty and the Beast, for instance, borrows, a lot from its own animated original. Turns out none of the writers of those animated originals are getting a penny for their work getting spun into and remade with live-action people.
Somebody needs a new lawyer.
Well, it's the Writers Guild of America. Apparently, they don't cover animated films. You're not extended the same rights if you write an animated film as if you write a film for people.
What?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
The people who write the live-action adaptation of Beauty and the Beast, for instance, they have a legal recourse if Disney then makes another version and uses their words. But the people who wrote the original animated one don't have a leg to stand on.
That's pretty awful.
No, it's pretty awful, isn't it?
Well,
so yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so that's pretty crappy, not gonna lie. Okay, so Halloween. Halloween is upon us, and of course we've got to have a slasher movie for the year. Why not have a sequel to the original slasher movie? So Halloween.
And it's pretty much Halloween, so
exactly. So we've already got Haunted Halloween this week.
And now we've just got Halloween.
Okay, so which is actually Halloween 2, or is actually Halloween 2B, or if we're being technical, I think the fourth reboot now of Halloween.
Sure.
So, depending on who you ask.
Depending on your definition and which ones you kind of liked and which ones you didn't.
This series has so many timelines and continuities, and it has more reboots than like Eleanor Shellstrop.
Shout out to The Good Place.
Shout out to The Good Place, which is back and awesome.
Yes.
I've seen that. So this one is an alternative sequel to the original Halloween.
Okay.
The idea is this takes place 40 years to the day from the end of Halloween.
Okay.
Of the original Halloween. Moments after the end of the original movie, we are told Michael Myers was picked up down the street by, a young cop who is now the sheriff of, I think it's still Haddonfield. Laurie Strode, the only survivor of that night, now lives in that way that Sidney Prescott did, in the isolated house with the electronic gates.
Super security.
The buzzer, and the thing, she has a big dog. I don't think she has a dog, actually.
To be fair, in her shoes, I would do the same thing.
You really would. It also then transpires that what has actually happened in all the decades since the original Halloween, Laurie Strode has basically descended into full-blown Sarah Connor mode. She is pure survival all the time. She had a daughter herself who she then raised in this environment. Again, kind of like Sarah Connor, there are a lot of parables in this. There's a lot of Terminator 2 going on in Halloween / Halloween 2. Her daughter has grown up to resent her in that way that John Connor does. She's then had a kid of her own, who's the granddaughter, who wants to be close to grandmother, but mum says scary things about her. And all this is happening right about the point that a pair of British true crime podcasters decide that they want to construct a series around the events of Michael Myers.
Uh-huh.
This clip then transpires.
Michael Myers is a human being who killed his sister when he was 6 years old. And he came after you. We just want to know why. We want a glimpse inside his mind.
Michael Myers murdered 5 people. And he's a human being we need to understand.
They're transferring him.
Tomorrow, 7 o'clock.
You know, he'll be locked away until the end of his days.
That's the idea.
Laurie, we saw him. We met with Michael. I showed him the mask. It was nothing. No response, nothing. He won't talk to anyone. Never has, but I think he might speak with you.
Don't worry, it's not one of those movies. Although, actually, if she, they had constructed the narrative whereby she did actually go and see him, confront him that way, might have been actually somewhat kind of more interesting than what they actually go with.
Uh-huh.
What they go with is very merely a standard prisoner bus escape
I was going to say,
it's
surely
pretty much that.
he
There's nothing,
escapes.
this prisoner bus goes awry, he escapes, he's back on the loose, but this time she's got a gun. That's the movie. And to be fair, the Halloween movies have never particularly been narratively complex. And I think
not really.
If you're waiting until the 4th time they've rebooted this to try and hope for some sort of narrative complexity, you're probably going to be disappointed.
That's not what you go for Halloween for.
You're not for anyway. What they have done, though, is they have seriously upped the nastiness factor. To some extent, further than even Rob Zombie did with his attempt at this.
Oh, wow.
And what they've done is they've gone full-blown R-rated, they've gone deeply cinematic, they've lent hard on the theology and the auteur dynamics of John Carpenter and his sensibilities that he brought to this, which is now, say 40 years. And his 40 years, isn't it? 70, 80, 90. Okay, yes, we are. Sorry, it took me a moment to work that out.
I gave you that moment. It was
Thank you. But it leans hard on the visual sensibilities of John Carpenter's original. It is reverent, but at the same time not beholden.
Mm-hmm.
It does like to take some leaps with it, and there's a great sequence, for instance, which is an unbroken single camera sequence, and it's in one of the trailers. You might have seen it, in which Michael Myers walks down a driveway and into a garage, and he picks up a hammer, and then he goes into the house and he goes into the kitchen, and then he goes just out of shot, and we see him swing for what we see as an old lady, and it's all in one.
Not an old lady.
We don't see him actually attack her. We sort of see him going into it, and the way in which this unbroken shot is constructed, you just think this is wonderful. This literally is the evolution of Carpenter. What you've done is you've taken where Carpenter started and seen just where he would run with it if he were given this sort of budget. He is a producer on it, so he does have some input.
Mm-hmm.
This comes to us by David Gordon Green directing, and he has co-written it with Danny McBride, of all people.
What?
I know, go figure. But but you know what? Carpenter's got a say in what's going on. Carpenter's handling the music, which might explain why the Halloween music has never sounded better. And there's lots of old school, nasty, grisly chills in there. There's some great mythology building. There's a neat moment in it in which it gives up on. In one way it's the worst, and in another way it's the best moment of the film. There is a moment in which it takes a turn with its own tone and its own sort of real world sensibility, and it's kind of the ultimate triumphant moment. You do think, okay, I'm going to go with it because this has all been so fun. But if I'm going to be academic about it, you went from 4-star to 3. But yeah,
Worth it. I think because I'm a fan of Halloween anyway.
Are you a fan?
Yes.
I mean, I'm guessing
not the sequels, apart from H2O.
I was going to say, are you like me, where the first one you really got into, I think, was H2O?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, back around that point that The Faculty was big.
Yeah.
Disturbing behaviour, things like that.
It just got me from the whole skate in the head thing. I was like,
when Joey Gordon-Levitt's getting done in with an ice skate. But,
do you see him then? If they're talking about, he's in prison and stuff like that.
No, right, here's the thing. We do see sort of him. We don't see his face. We see his head. And we see his head from the side and at a very distinct angle.
Yeah.
Like they've angled it very specifically. And he is an older man. He is the same sort of age, maybe a decade older, I think he's meant to be, than I know
Laurie?
he's meant to be about the same age as Laurie, isn't he?
I don't know.
I think he'd be thereabouts.
I don't know. I see him as this like mythical thing. I don't know.
I want to point out, by the way, right, there is a character and it only ever comes up in horror comedies, and I love this, and it's always a black character who has to be the rational person in a horror movie, who just says, screw this, and runs away the minute they see the maniac, right? You know that guy?
Yes.
You know this scary movie when they've got the reporters and he gets them on some BET? He's like, so white people are dead, we're getting out of here.
Yeah.
And they jump in the car and drive away. Right, there is a character like that in this movie. He might be the best version of that to date.
Nice.
He absolutely is. He absolutely steals this film in what has to be its signature comedic moment. Laurie Strode, though, Jamie Lee Curtis is still the absolute scream queen. It is worth seeing. If you're a fan or you just want a good old-fashioned slasher movie.
I was going to say, though, is this the kind of film that anyone could go and see, whether you've seen Halloween or not?
There's enough sort of mythology referencing in it. I mean, it does only reference one movie. They've done away with all the sequels.
Yeah, they all didn't happen.
She's not his sister anymore.
Yeah,
because that's a creation of the second movie. So let's not dwell on that one. They actually bring that up as a meta joke at one point.
Okay,
but it is exactly the movie you think this is going to be. Maybe about 10% nastier. So
sweet.
Yeah. Alas, though, I'm not giving it Film of the Week.
And what's going to get it then?
Dogman.
Dogman
Absolutely is Film of this week. I want to see that again. That was awesome. Like, seriously, I recommend you watch it. It's so good. Like, if you want to feel highbrow, you're watching a foreign film then.
I was going to say, am I going to see this in a cinema or kind of multiplex, or am I going to have to go to those special ones that are a bit more highbrow?
An art housey one, I think. An art housey cinema, definitely. But a Cineworld may have one screen showing it. I don't know.
So worth looking it up.
Worth looking it up. It is worth seeing, I would say.
Excellent. What about next week then? What's coming up?
So, next week, interesting week ahead. We've got, the biggie next week, to be honest with you, is it's going to be hard to avoid any of the publicity on this one. Bohemian Rhapsody is next week.
Is that next week?
That is next week.
Oh.
That is in cinemas Wednesday the 24th.
Amazing.
Next week. I can't wait for that. That really could be just...
I've told you need to shave off the beard.
Shave
the
off
mustache.
the chin. Just have the chin. Keep the stash.
Off the chin.
Yeah.
Keep the stash.
We've also got Utoya July 22, which is obviously in reference to the terrorist attacks of, was it 2011? So we had 22 July recently on Netflix.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing.
I don't know.
We've got The Guilty. We've got the reissue of Beetlejuice next week.
No way!
30 years, baby.
Awesome.
Yeah, 30 years. We've got Bad Reputation, which is the Joan Jett documentary.
Okay.
Next week. Magic Medicine, documentary about magic mushrooms and their health benefits.
Bet that's a real trip.
I know. We've got An Artist's Eyes, and we've got a movie that intrigued, just the poster for this intrigued the hell out of me at Fright Fest this year. Possum is next week.
Possum?
And this apparently is just nasty.
Sounds like my kind of film.
So, so that sounds like one we can enjoy. And we'll enjoy that together, Kel, you and I.
Yeah.
So, in the meanwhile, this has been a Candy Store production for Movie Market. I've been Van Connor.
I've been Kelly Needham.
And we shall be back.
Just show me the way to get out of here, and I'll be on my way.
You've been listening to Offscreen. For more movie news, reviews, and more, visit moviemarker.co.uk.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.
Podcast extras.
So, we've got some fun to have. I don't know if you've heard about this. Warner Brothers are setting themselves up with a nice new little kind of animation-based franchise.
Okay.
Right. Because Warner Brothers have historically had such wonderful experience with franchises.
Yeah, they're really good at it.
They're really... Actually, this is the weird thing. You know what? When you sit and you look at it on balance, Warner Brothers are really good with franchises.
All right, convince me.
Right. They're just really bad at one of their franchises. Okay? Right. So hear me out on this one. Consider what Warner Brothers currently has, like franchise-wise, under its docket. It's more than you think.
No, you're going to have to tell me.
Okay, right. So presently, they have the Lego franchise. That makes a good chunk of change every time they put one out.
Yeah.
They've got...
Oh, yeah, they had the Ninjago, didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
They've got Lego Movie 2's next, isn't it? So...
Chris Pratt back?
Yeah, Chris Pratt. Oh, that's the sequel to. That's the one with the Duplo aliens or something, I think.
Okay.
Right, so you've got your Lego franchise. You've got your Harry Potter franchise, which is now revitalised and shows no signs of going away. And when this current iteration of it is done, well, you know what? There's always 2 movies to make out the Cursed Child, isn't there?
It's going to happen.
And then by the time you've got there, I'm sure Joe's going to have chucked out a few more books or lithographs or monogrammed, beer mats or something that you can base some material on. So Harry Potter, chuck a win in there. And then there's The Conjuring, isn't there?
What's that?
Conjuring's not going to go away, is it?
I keep forgetting that's Warner Brothers.
You can keep that going for 10 years. Of course you can. Why not?
Yeah, well, give up on the Annabelles, though.
But this is the thing, because that's where it makes its meat, isn't it? In the little spin-offs, right? And then of course there's whatever you do with DC, right? So 1 out of 4 isn't working, but the other 3 are making serious bank.
I guess so.
Right. So of course you got to negate your losses. So let's make more franchises. Mm-hmm. What happens though if you own loads of franchises that simply aren't having anything done with them? You just revitalise them, right? Okay.
Sure.
So, this is where it gets bonkers. So, they've got 3 films coming out. Like Space Jam 2 has been rumoured for a long, long time. Right?
Oh, yeah, we're getting that. What's the guy called?
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
And
he was excellent in Trainwreck.
He was, wasn't he? He was quite good. I didn't expect anything from him in Trainwreck. Trainwreck. Yeah.
He was probably the best character in it, to be fair.
But I don't know, actually. I really like Amy Schumer for most of that movie.
Nah, he was better.
No, because in 2014 I could absolutely have related to Amy Schumer in that movie. But, okay, no, anyway, so... Right.
That's your own problems then.
Yeah, sorry, leave it at home, Right, okay, so what they've done is they've looked at the brands they have over at Warner Bros. and what they got that's sitting in the vault that's having nothing done with them.
What they got?
Right, they've got that Space Jam thing coming, right? Space Jam's been wheeled out of the vault. Let's get back. Of course, though... What are the components of Space Jam? Think about it. They've got Looney Tunes characters. Mm-hmm. They've got animated characters. Why not simply delve into those? So they've decided, Scooby-Doo, that's happening. Scooby-Doo. No. Chris Columbus, who brought us, Home Alone, things like that, and actually did some of the Harry Potter movies. He's going to be the creative. Over. Yeah, he did. He did the first 2, and then
I thought he did the third. Well,
no, he did the first 2, and then it was Alfonso Cuarón before he did Gravity, and then. Forget who it was for
I need to go back on the Warner Brothers tour, clearly.
It was just David Yates from number 5 onwards, and then it's just been him ever since, I think. But anyway, so Chris Columbus is going to be the creative producer of a live-action CG hybrid Scooby-Doo movie. So
because it went so well last time.
How dare you? That first movie is a goddamn gem.
I'm talking about the second one.
Okay, the second one is a travesty. The second one is all right. Yes, I enjoy Velma in the orange cat suit a bit too much. I'm not going to lie, but
it's so predictable.
I know. I have a type. I really do. Anyway, so...
Shout out to your girlfriend.
Thanks. The first movie, though, is really good, and also James Gunn wrote an amazing script for that. Apparently he did write the second, though, which makes me like him less. But, still...
That's why you got fired.
No, hashtag rehire James Gunn. But
we're all behind you, James.
Please make Suicide Squad brilliant. Anyway, so yeah, Chris Columbus going to produce that. And then they've got Tim Story, right? The director of Think Like a Man and Ride Along. Okay. He's going to direct a Tom and Jerry live-action CG hybrid movie.
No.
And these 3 films are going to form this sort of animated wing of live-action animation revival.
They're just going to ruin Tom and Jerry. Have you seen the Smurfs? Well, I know you have.
I have. Also, I'm not going to lie. I think 1993's Tom and Jerry the movie kind of did that already.
I've blocked it out of existence.
Really?
That movie, never happened.
When they discover that they can each talk.
It never happened.
God, that movie sucked.
That's why it never happened.
Yeah, my sister had that on so many times that year. I always wanted to watch Robin Hood Men in Tights, and she always wanted to watch Tom and Jerry the movie.
No accounting for taste.
Yeah, so Warner Brothers are bolstering their franchises. If you want the honest truth, I honestly think Scooby-Doo could be a win. Could be a win. Space Jam will kill. Space Jam will make all the money.
I'm seeing that on opening night.
You are, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, let's be really honest. Opening night, you and I will get steaming drunk, go down there in basketball jerseys and...
Obviously.
Yeah, totally. That's clear.
No underwear.
clearly what's going to happen. The big oversized shorts.
Yep.
And the full size. Yeah, we'll do that.
The Bill Murray headband.
Exactly. I loved Space Jam.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Scooby-Doo, I'm like, okay, it's been done before and I enjoyed that first
could
one.
work though,
Cool.
but I do think
But
Tom and Jerry, that's a gamble. That's a gamble, mate. It could work. Thing is,
It's not gonna work.
The live action CG hybrid thing with old cartoons has really mixed results. And to be honest, more often than not, they are bad. I mean,
they are.
I mean, did anyone see Yogi Bear? Did you ever see that?
Oh, no.
Didn't that star Tom Cavanaugh from The
Wasn't
Flash?
Anna Faris in that? Am I making that up?
I think she was.
I feel like she was.
I feel like that's a thing that happened. And then there's ones like, Woody
Garfield.
Woodpecker. Garfield, obviously, yeah, Garfield, which was successful enough to get a sequel. And then
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah.
There's about 50 of them, isn't there?
I think it's 4.
The Squeakquel,
Squeakquel, Chipwrecked, the Road Chip.
Road Chip.
Yeah, those are the sequels.
Well, it's going to happen. What can we do?
So, yeah, there's that. I don't know. I mean, that's just... Oh, apparently, when they were filming the Joker movie in New York, did you hear this?
It's the Joaquin Phoenix one.
Joaquin Phoenix one, yeah. Apparently, during the filming, they locked a bunch of extras in subway cars for 3 hours and told them they couldn't go to the bathroom or have any water.
Why?
Who knows?
They were trying to make a method.
I don't know.
Forcing them to be method.
I have absolutely no explanation.
Did he do it? Did Joaquin Phoenix lock them in and it was part of his...
method,
Yeah, exactly.
No.
It's like when Jared Leto sent
them like
gifts
used
of,
condoms and things, didn't he? Yeah,
rats and condoms and his own poo, as far
pretty
as I'm
sure,
aware.
based on the movie, that had nothing to do with the role. And that was more just he got leathered one night and thought, I'm just going to mess with people.
This is just funny.
Yeah.
And I can get away with it. Yeah,
Probably,
I
yeah.
assume so.
So, you know that Flash movie we're never going to get?
Yes.
Well, apparently it's been delayed again.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so...
Sorry, Ezra.
Right, here's one for you. What is the most tangible thing you can base a movie on? The most, tangible? Most tangible thing?
Broad question.
That's a really broad question. Well, actually, it would be this brick. This brick would be a tangible thing you could base a movie upon.
This chair I sit upon.
I was going to say ludicrous thing. Okay, Luca Guadagnino, who made Call Me By Your Name, is going to make a movie based on Blood on the Tracks, the 1975 Bob Dylan album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for that one.
Yeah, me too. It's just going to follow some 70s characters as they go about their lives. The funny thing is that apparently it was pitched to him by one of the producers on Call Me By Your Name. And he said, yeah, I'll do it, only if... Is it Richard Le Genovese, I think? A writer he respects, who he'd never met. I'll do it if he writes it. And the dude's apparently come out and said, yeah, I'll do it. And now they've written it together.
So you think he kind of threw that out there as a, like, yeah, I'll do it if he gets involved.
Yeah,
when he's not going to.
Yeah,
called
that's
his bluff.
basically
Have you heard about Michael B. Jordan?
What is it? I saw something about it. What is it he's doing?
So he's been cast to play a new role, which is an assassin called Columbus, in a film franchise which they're calling The Silver Bear.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
It's based on 3:10 to Yuma.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen 3:10 to Yuma.
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay.
Or maybe it's just the guy who wrote that. Who knows? But it's something about a hitman who's so awesome that he's called the Silver Bear by the Russian underworld because, you know, they love to name the assassins.
That does sound like something Russians would call an assassin.
Yeah, and he's really awesome, but one day he gets challenged to kill his own father.
Okay, this sounds a bit accountanty, doesn't it?
Yeah, well,
accountanty, John Wicky.
It does, but to be honest, love me some Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, true. Do you remember when Viggo Mortensen used to lead really interesting movies? Once upon a time.
it was a small window. But
It was a small window. Well, apparently that's going to happen again in like February in this country because we're going to get Green Book, which he stars in with Mahershala Ali. It's meant to be amazing. But he's going to make his directorial debut next as well.
Okay.
He's going to star in a movie called Falling. Right? He's going to direct this movie. He's going to star in it.
They always do this.
Yeah. He's going to produce it. He's written it.
Write the theme tune. Sing the theme tune.
Sing the theme tune. Yeah. Right, he's done everything. Right, the story is of a gay man who lives in California with his partner and their adopted daughter, and his older bigoted father, his bigoted, more traditional, what did you say, bigoted father, comes to visit to search for a place to retire. And of course, brings with it his prejudices.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that hooked me on this is the father is to be played by Lance Henriksen.
Oh.
So, yeah, Viggy Mortz is going to have Lance Henriksen as his dad, and that is awesome.
That sounds pretty cool.
That does. Also, I mean, you think about the age thing there as well. I like that Viggo Mortensen is really not afraid to play his age now.
Can't really get around it.
I don't know. Actually, when he wants to, he can youth it up a bit.
Yeah?
Yeah, he can go that full Nikolai Coster-Waldau when he wants to. So every now and again he debates, should I just go back and screw with Nick for half an hour, just like make him think he ain't safe? And he thinks, nah, it's more fun to wear cardigans. I'll just wear cardigans and do some oil painting.
That sounds delightful.
You do look at him and just think, you make oil paintings, don't you? And do photography.
All the arties.
I bet you do arts.
All the arts.
Yes. I don't. I eat crumpets and watch TV.
I bet you wear small scarves.
Oh, do you know, it's when they're the thin scarves.
A very thin
scarves. When they're the wafer-thin ham, kind of level scarves. Respect those scarves. So that went really off topic. Can I tell you the creepiest thing?
Yes.
I don't think anything came of this in the end. Right. So, you know how Bohemian Rhapsody is about to come out?
Yes.
And obviously there was some controversy behind the scenes with that.
Yes.
Rather famously. I mean, they lost their director and then they sacked their director.
Yes.
Yeah, that director, of course, was Bryan Singer. And not long afterwards, which was kind of around the time that Me Too started to really fire up, Bryan Singer got caught in that little undercurrent wave that was going on during Me Too, which was when the gay assault victims started to speak out, and for instance, Kevin Spacey got.
Yep.
Bryan Singer has had those rumours throughout his career.
I was going to say, that's nothing new.
Nothing new. Now, you might remember this flared up about 4 years ago when X-Men Days of Future Past came out.
Yep.
And he had to sit out the press tour because, quite frankly, there was simply no way you could put him in front of journalists and it not come up. It was too big a deal, and at that point it was looking very, very dubious. Well, it's now apparently coming up again.
I am shocked.
Now, the thing is, though, we've been given some warning.
Okay.
And bless him. Do you know who gave us the warning?
Who?
Bryan Singer.
Oh.
Yeah. Bryan Singer gave us the warning that there were some allegations coming out about Bryan Singer, and we know this because he took to Twitter.
Oh, I love Twitter. God bless Twitter.
Yeah. He went to Twitter and said, right, there's an Esquire magazine article coming out, and it's going to...
You're going to hear some stuff.
You're going to hear some things.
You're going to read some stuff.
Yeah. None of it's true.
Definitely not.
It's made up, it's all embellished. It's also really, really convenient. They're only bringing this out now because my movie's out. And you think, well, yeah, because that's kind of the perfect time to bring it out, Brian.
That's kind of the point, dude.
If you're Michael Bay, you could bring that out tomorrow. If you're Spielberg, you could bring that out over lunch and it would still be the biggest story in the world.
Yeah.
If you're Bryan Singer, you bring it out when he's got a movie out. Or it's the really cynical reality, but unfortunately that is the reality.
It's not even unfortunate, it just is.
Well, I'm saying it's unfortunate for him, but yeah.
Well... be a better person.
So something's coming out. I don't know if the magazine has hit newsstands in 2 days since I saw the story.
Ooh, I totally want to Google it.
But Bryan Singer, who's got... well, that's the thing, because he didn't finish the film. Dexter Fletcher finished the film.
What film was it?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody. He didn't show up to work one day, and I think it was something about visiting his sick parents or something. And you're like, yeah, you tend to leave a post-it note. But... and then, of course, he got fired. He cleaned his offices off the Fox lot, which usually means there's no repairing that relationship. So,
God, I hate even just looking at this guy. I'm Googling it. It doesn't seem to have come out yet.
No, well, I think it will. But, yeah. So that was an interesting one.
Any positive news? Anything good?
Idris Elba's going to play an evil cat.
Oh.
Again. Did Jungle Book, didn't he?
Oh, duh. All right, technicality.
Well, he's going to be the villain in Cats.
They're making Cats?
Yeah, I know you're the daughter of a musical, god, but still. I just assume you know all the Cat songs from your household.
Yeah, I may have watched it a few times.
Yeah, so Idris Elba is the villain in... I don't even know who the villain is in Cats. Please tell me.
Who is the villain in Cats?
What the hell is Cats?
Cats. I mean,
I know it from The Simpsons.
to be fair, I've not seen it in quite a while, but from what I remember, it was just a bunch of cats. And it was like, oh, here's a cat that is a bit horny.
He is McCavity, the Napoleon of crime.
Oh, yeah, okay. Now you've said his name, I can literally hear the song in my head.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I won't sing it.
Okay, right. This is a story that fascinated me, and I don't think it's going to get the attention, anywhere near the attention it deserves, this story. Right. In the first decade of this century, right after kind of Fast and the Furious hit big, for about 5 minutes, okay, which is to say most of the decade, admittedly, but we had something of an emerging Jerry Bruckheimer-like producer coming up named Neil H. Moritz.
Okay.
Right, he was a producer on the Fast and the Furious, and he produced a lot of movies kind of like Fast and the Furious afterwards.
Okay.
So he did things like SWAT, for instance.
Excellent.
And I forget which, I think it was Torque. Because there was...
as in like talk. Not as in...
Torque.
Yeah.
Torque. Which was Fast and the Furious on bikes.
Okay.
And it starred Martin Henderson and Monet Mazur, who you'll remember as the evil villain chick from The House Bunny.
Awesome.
Another one who was visibly a decade older than Nana Faris at the time. Yeah, her. But never got that. Also, how is she not Kelly Preston? Just figuring that out.
Bad casting.
But yeah, so Neil H. Moritz was the up-and-comer. And of course, he's on Fast and the Furious. His name is attached to history. Now, his role in the series
He's part of the family.
He's part of the family, but unfortunately he's becoming less and less a part of the family the more stars join this series and become producers. In that way that Vin Diesel now effectively runs the franchise. And The Rock is starting to get a bit of a say in things, and the other producers like him slightly more than Vin Diesel, it seems. Right, so, the Fast and Furious has got this Hobbs and Shaw spin-off coming out.
Oh, of course, Jason Statham.
Rock.
Yeah.
Statham Rock, which I still
Statham
think...
Rock.
I love that. I still think Rock and Statham Rock.
Statham Rock.
I'd
visit that place.
Sure you would. So you'd happily plant your flag up on that place.
Ayo.
Almost said face. Neil Morris apparently has been squeezed out of this spin-off. Which, even though it is a spin-off of a series he's on, apparently he's being removed from it, and he's apparently suing them to get his name put back on it as a full producer.
Good luck to him.
Yeah, good luck to him. Donald P. Belisario, I believe, pulled this trick years ago. Donald P. Belisario was the producer of series such as JAG and NCIS.
Oh, God.
Here was the funny thing. He made JAG... And then they said, we want to make a spin-off. They made NCIS. So, of course, even though he produced and created JAG, they kind of had to involve him in the spin-off. They then made NCIS Los Angeles.
That's a different show.
And they argued, you had nothing to do with that. We created that.
Yeah.
We just used some of those characters. It's nothing to do with you. You're not a producer. And
Get out of here.
And they sued them. I don't think he got anywhere. And just to be arseholes, they created NCIS New Orleans.
That was just to spite him.
That was to spite him.
Nobody asked for it, Van.
Scott Bakula having a TV show is purely an act of spite.
Shout out to Scott.
Shout out to Scott, definitely. So let's see what we've got here. Okay. Oh, I mean, we said the Hitman 2 thing, didn't we? Oh, wait. John Carpenter apparently has been teasing a sequel to They Live. Now, it's John Carpenter, so I don't put much stock behind it because John Carpenter talks about pointless, never going to happen sequels all the time.
We let him talk. I would love it if they did a sequel to They Live. Remind me what They Live is.
They Live is the movie in which the dude gets the sunglasses and he puts the sunglasses on. It allows him to see aliens. Like people are actually aliens.
Yes.
And like the adverts, he puts it on and the adverts change. And they're like serve and obey.
Yeah.
And it's got that famous line, I came here to kick ass and chew gum and I'm all out of gum. Great, just
classic.
Wonderful line of dialogue from a truly tremendous film there. But
so again, another one that no one asked for a sequel.
Well, it's like people apparently always ask for a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China, but apparently
Little Trouble in Big China.
Well, we're getting that apparently with Dwayne Johnson. So
shocking.
Yeah. Oh, that was it. The Chris Evans tweet. This thing where he said, "I'm all done on Avengers. This has been a wonderful 10 years. Thank you." Well, apparently he'd quit on us. Well, apparently he's now walked that back.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, he said, no, I was just saying I was very emotional that day.
I was just purely saying
we finished
cool.
this chapter, like, there's other chapters, man, calm down.
So he hasn't quit?
Well, this is what he's now maintaining he hasn't quit.
Okay.
He's not said he's not quit, but he's not said he's quit.
This guy's keeping me on
tenterhooks. He's unquit quitting. That's what he's done. He's quit unquitting.
He's quit unquitting.
He's quit unquitting his quitting. Is the best way to say it.
Okay.
It's a very strange one, I know. Right, okay, you love horror movies from the same period as I do. We've just talked about how, you and I like, things like Halloween H2O. And
the classics.
Do you remember Wrong Turn?
I love Wrong Turn.
Oh, it was so good, wasn't it?
Oh, my God. I even had nicknames for the...
Oh, no, they have names.
Incestuous. Yeah, but... the little one was called Binky.
They actually have names.
No,
right.
Binky.
But you do know that became a franchise. Right. No, don't you?
I know, but I've never seen them.
Right, okay. So here's the thing. Em and I at home, we watch the sequels every time a new one comes out. We will watch them all.
And they're on about 52 at this point.
No, actually, they're only on 6.
Oh, only 6?
Only 6. But every time a new sequel would come out, we'd rewatch them all. That first one is legit, like Jeremy Sisto.
Hasn't one of the sequels got flipping Roxanne Pallet
Yes,
in
it has. That's the most recent one. Wrong Turn 6, Last Resort.
Wronger Return.
And she gets a babs out in the first half hour.
Yeah, of course she does.
Of course she does. Mm-hmm. And do you know what? Not bad. I enjoyed it.
Me.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. But I felt bad about it afterwards.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. Having said that, though, Wrong Turn 5 stars a better Roxanne McKee.
Oh, you love Roxanne McKee.
I do, don't I? I love Roxanne McKee. Don't I do? Roxanne McKee, she is my it girl. She is. Mm-hmm. But
So what are we saying about Wrong Turn?
Oh, it's getting remade.
What?
It's getting remade and rebooted.
Why?
So here's where it gets weirder. Constantine Film. That's that European company. They do make sort of decently budgeted films, but they're making this. Apparently 20th Century Fox are going to distribute it. Which means this could feasibly come out under Disney.
That's just so weird. Why would you remake that film?
I have no idea. I mean, they're cheap to make, I guess.
I mean, it's not like the concept is so out there and different that...
Right, hang on. We should, for anyone who hasn't seen these movies, we should explain.
Yeah.
These movies basically take the form of teenagers go on a road trip, car breaks down, it happens to be in the hunting zone of a family of, inbred cannibals.
Yeah.
That's the movie.
Including Binky.
Including Binky, who's the little one.
Little one.
I'm sure they have names like Hooktooth and things like that.
Oh, yeah, they do. No, Binky.
But we should look that up. But anyway. But yeah, Wrong Turn. Why does that need rebooting?
I don't know, but I'll watch it.
I will. I'll watch them all. I'm just disappointed we're not getting Wrong Turn 7. Even Final Resort.
Even Wronger Return.
But and let's see which...
The Wrongest Turn.
I'm sure they can get Lacey Turner to be in this one, but,
Well, they're going down the British pedigree actresses, so...
And I'm trying to think, who would be the worst British soap? Jennifer Ellison. There you go. They'll get Jennifer Ellison to be in the next one.
Good Lord.
But I don't know soap actors, to be honest.
Bring Will Mellor in.
No, don't, because that happened when I watched a movie about Vikings and Will Mellor turned up playing a Viking. You're like, fuck off, no.
I love me some Will Mellor.
Oh, man. Amy Winehouse is getting a biopic. That's happening. Like an actual biopic. Like a narrative, walk the line style.
Oh, okay.
Biopic.
As in someone's going to play her.
Someone's going to play her. Like that. You wouldn't want to be the person tasked with that talent search.
I can't even think.
You know what they should do?
What?
Just do a blind, complete unknowns audition.
I can't see who could pull that off.
This is the thing. If you find... Well, no, there's no actress currently working that you think could do that.
No.
But if you did a blind audition and you got actresses in to audition for something completely unrelated, you just try and feel them out for the part.
I see.
Because if you tell them it's an Amy Winehouse movie, they all come in doing that...
With a beehive.
That stock impression.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So you get them to do something that they don't realise is similar.
I like it.
Stage a fake EastEnders audition. That could do it.
I'd definitely watch that.
They must find some gems in EastEnders occasionally. I just imagine that for some reason they don't hire them.
I can't believe that's still a thing.
What?
EastEnders.
Yeah, I can't either. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, but I'll watch that though.
Apparently Richard Madden's going to be James Bond.
Is he?
Who cares?
Rob Stark.
Well, this is the thing, because he's the bodyguard now, isn't he?
Oh.
You know, he's all sexy, sweaty body. Right, this is the
I mean,
thing.
he is sexy. I'll give him that.
Right, I met him years ago, you know.
Oh, did you?
Cinderella.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But
He was
anyway,
the prince.
he was Prince Charming. He was charming. He has very lovely hair.
How delightful.
But anyway, I've seen Bodyguard, most of Bodyguard, and I think he's great in it. The rumour came out weeks ago that, you know, he was the next Bond. And we didn't think anything of it because everyone who appears on telly for more than 5 minutes, if you're a white man under 50 and you're on telly for more than 25 minutes, you get linked to James Bond, regardless of the fact of someone else playing it or, you know, it being early in their tenure. You just get linked to it. That's how it happens. Damian Lewis has it happen every other week.
Ugh.
Don't know why, but still happens. Anyway, so this happened. There was no stock in it. Apparently now a source close to the Broccoli family is claiming that Barbara Broccoli really loves him. She thinks he's the perfect age. He can take it forward, all that stuff. This did come from, was it The Sun? So don't put too much stock in that.
I think as long as he's not doing an American accent like that film. What's the film called where he's like the American pickpocket guy?
Oh, do you mean Bastille Day?
Ugh.
Bastille, because they changed the title, didn't they, after the Bastille Day attacks?
Oh, yeah.
And I forget what it changed, but it had already screened and released in the UK as Bastille Day.
It was horrific. I had to turn it off.
Never forget that Did you turn it off?
I had to.
So you didn't get to the end when Idris Elba sang the theme tune?
Maybe I'll have to watch it.
I think you shall, my dear.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know me, it takes a lot for me to turn something off. Because I will watch some crap. And my other half can attest to that. I will watch some crap.
Yeah. You know, I do get a log of everything you watch on my server, by the way. just FYI.
Shout out to Disney Zombies.
Yeah. So, can I tell you a story about Venom? Because I'll never be bored of Venom.
Go on then.
Right. So there's a point in Venom in which there's a time jump.
Okay.
Because you know they have to do the whole his life goes to hell thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like gets fire, gets red.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, they do a time jump thing to make that transition more dramatic. They're just like 6 months later.
Yeah.
You know, this is like 10 minutes in the film. Well, the thing is, the bad guy symbiote by that point, you know, the one that's inevitably going to be the villain at the end, you know, in that perfectly matched power way that superhero movies sort of grew out of doing a while back.
Except for Dogman.
Except for Dogman. Although, remember, like Iron Man 1? It's just Iron Man versus a dude in another Iron Man.
An Iron
suit.
Man, yeah.
You know, that same thing. Like the superhero movies did this really lame thing for a while.
Yeah, Hulk versus other Hulk.
Yeah, Hulk versus exactly that. You know, but I mean, you can argue that Captain America: The Winter Soldier is a terrific movie, despite the fact that it's basically Captain America versus brainwashed Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, there was a point to all this.
What was the point? What were we talking about?
I can't even... Oh, Venom. Plot.
Venom.
Right, so Venom's got like an evil symbiote loose on Earth from the beginning of the movie.
Yep.
And it's like it basically body hops and it gets into the body of I think she's an old Vietnamese woman. And then, of course, the time jump happens.
Yeah.
6 months later, and this like old Vietnamese woman turns up again. You're like, so he was just like hanging around as an old lady for like 6 months?
6 months?
Like, really?
Maybe she was really exciting. Well, maybe she was like the owner of a brothel.
Here's where it gets fun. I think she makes noodles.
Yeah, okay.
I think she's like a street noodle chef.
They could be really awesome noodles.
Maybe Riot just really loved the noodles. But here's where it gets this weird. So someone at GameSpot interviewed Ruben Fleischer this week, the director of Venom, and asked him about it. And he just spun this complete narrative and then said, well, I mean, maybe he's going around just killing people for fun. You know, maybe he's doing that.
As an old Vietnamese woman.
Yeah, maybe he's just really got good at it. And I like to imagine that he drains the life force of the person he's in. That's why he was a younger person for a short time and then an old, frail person for a long time.
Hang on, I've dug myself into a hole here.
I think the journalist hit back, maybe he was hibernating. And Ruben Fleischer simply replied with, yeah, who's to know?
You!
Yeah, you're like, yeah, you dumbass. You are the person who's supposed to know. Now, this is the thing, though.
I'm going to start calling him Ben Wheatley. Finish a story, man.
Right, here's the thing, though. This does happen in movies occasionally. And sometimes it is accidental. And sometimes it is you've cut something for time. And it
makes a hole.
Yeah. That's fine. It happens.
In Iron Man 3.
Which one in Iron Man 3?
The whole operation thing where they cut out with the Doctor.
Oh, you mean when they literally leave a hole in Tony Stark and they never explain how they filled that?
Maybe.
Yeah, because I really want to know why he needed like such a high compression nanotech like arc reactor when apparently he had a massive empty chasm in his chest left over. But
we'll never. Who's to say?
I think he should have like an Iron Man plug put in.
I like to imagine that they just got some polyfiller and just kind of in.
It's very true. Anyway, sorry.
We digress.
There are plot holes in Iron Man. That is actually not one of them anyway.
Come on.
Well, no, it's an inconsistency. I wouldn't call it a plot hole. Because because they change what it means constantly. So it's not really plot. That's an inconsistency.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
But yeah, so the one that always leaps to mind for me is when they rebooted Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
When they rebooted Star Trek, there's that whole thing where the Eric Barner's Romulans come through the time vortex or whatever, and they kill Kirk's dad.
Yeah.
And they kill Chris Hemsworth. Remember Chris Hemsworth gets killed at the beginning of that movie as Kirk is being born to, House's intern on the space shuttle. Dr. House's doctor on the one he had the love story with on the space shuttle. Yeah. Right, and then of course it flashes forward to, he's a kid briefly for 2 minutes and then does the whole Beastie Boys sequence. Mm-hmm. Then he's Chris Pine, James Dean, biker boy mode. In a bar, Harrison Fording his way through not taking a punch.
Yeah.
What is that silly face he pulls? I don't get it at all.
That's the Pine face.
When he gets punched in the face, he looks like he's just seen his wife with another man. It's just this comic soap opera gasp every time he gets punched in the face. Anyway.
That's acting.
Yeah. But the point is, between his birth and, bar fighting and meeting Bruce Greenwood and discovering the purpose of your life, as meeting Bruce Greenwood would do, well, those Romulans aren't anywhere. And then,
they're just chilling,
They just turn up then, all of a sudden, when the Enterprise launches, and well, now is the time for our vengeance. We'll get Spock. We'll show him what for. We'll show Vulcan what for. That's a fine how do you do.
Yeah, but we all know that they've spent those years with a Vietnamese lady making noodles.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's clearly, yeah. I mean, the ships are nearly identical. But the thing is, in the case of that, it was explained away. Like, what were they doing for? I think it was 22 years or something like that. It did get explained away though when the DVD and the Blu-ray came out.
And what was the explanation?
Because there was a deleted scene that showed actually shortly after the events of killing Kirk's dad and blowing up the Kelvin, I think it was the USS. It's called the Kelvin time, I think, for that reason. Shortly after killing Kirk's dad and blowing up the Kelvin, they were attacked and then imprisoned by Klingons.
Oh.
Yeah, and there are actual scenes of them in a Klingon prison. Mm-hmm. But, obviously that's in the deleted scenes, it's not in the film. It leaves a bit of a plot hole otherwise. Mm-hmm. But when J.J. Abrams got asked, he didn't say, meh, who knows?
Who's to say?
He said, look, we shot stuff and we cut it. It's on the DVD. Just shut up.
That's a bit of an arsehole response, but sure. Shut up.
He did it in more of that sort of weird Amblin-y, gothy thing. That sort of I'm a closet goth way that he does.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's totally that. Let's see.
More to love about Venom then.
Yeah. So more to love. Yeah.
I really do want to see it. Honestly. You sell it more and more to me.
It's just Catwoman again, but it's not as bad as Catwoman. It's the annoying part. Rookie of the Year is getting remade. I don't know why.
Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, Disney movie from the 90s.
Is that the one with the little kid? Wait, am I thinking?
Yeah, the little kid. And I'm not sure if it was, but he looked an awful lot like Kevin from American Pie.
Yes.
It was Kevin from American Pie.
Was it?
It was Thomas Ian Nichols, Kevin from American Pie.
Good spot.
Yes. So Fox are remaking the 1993 family movie Rookie of the Year. Do you know who directed Rookie of the Year? You will never guess this in a million years.
Oh, no. Shockingly, no.
Daniel Stern.
Daniel Stern?
Marv from Home Alone.
What?
Yeah, Marv from Home Alone directed Rookie of the Year. I didn't even know that until this second.
Yeah.
So it's all about the kid who winds up pitching for the Cubs.
Yeah.
They're going to remake that.
Don't care.
Since they're going to be absorbed into another company soon,
why not?
A company with a very heavily family-friendly reputation, this might be something we see a bit more of.
Maybe.
Although I always kind of thought Rookie of the Year was a Disney movie.
I thought it was too, actually.
Yeah.
No.
But
I guess it is now.
Sorry, did I tell you about the Flash movie that was never happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, that got delayed again. Did I tell you why?
No.
Because Fantastic Beasts 3 is happening, and Warner Brothers have prioritised it so much that Ezra Miller's schedule is locked to Fantastic Beasts. And they have to sort of structure the Flash around him. Yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, oh yeah, we know he has to be in the next one. And they've turned out it's a bigger role as well.
Yes.
So, this dude's basically the big
I
bad.
hope he's
of
got a
this.
different haircut.
I mean, the big bad of this. No, same haircut.
No.
But he's gonna be the big bad. Yeah.
Well,
So I don't know if we knew this was coming, but it came out the end of last week. Ryan Coogler is returning for Black Panther 2. He's going to write and direct Black Panther 2, which is terrific news.
Fine by me.
Fine by me. Did you love Black Panther as well?
Love it.
Loved it.
You know, my parents watched it recently for the first time.
Really?
And didn't like it.
Oh, no.
I was like, I am disowning you.
No, that's a middle-aged people in Yorkshire thing.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a middle-aged people in Yorkshire. I've witnessed it.
Honestly.
I've witnessed it. There's a certain level of middle-aged closed-mindedness that comes with it.
Well, I know that for the first 3/4, my mum had no idea what was going on, to the point where she even rang me. Fortunately, I missed that call because I think that would have frustrated the hell out of me. I'm like, how can you not understand what's going on? It's not complicated. You don't even have to have seen any other Marvel films.
No. Have you had that moment of awkward racism with it yet? This one where you're with someone who you're like in a bar or something, you're chatting to a friend. This actually happened to me, talking to a friend in a bar, and I'd had a really long day, and and she said, I tried watching Black Panther, and I really enjoyed it, but it took me a good hour to get used because of the really silly accents, and I was just like, yeah, what are you gonna do, hey?
Non-English people, eh?
Yeah, you're just like, imagine that. People from other countries
In
have
fact,
listened.
somebody did say something similar to me about it.
Yeah. I've heard it a few times, and and once or twice I have done the smack back, but then you just think, I don't want to have this very basic conversation with another adult human.
I don't remember exactly what they said, but I do remember my response
something
was
about the accent,
because
isn't it?
they're African.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
World. Sort it out.
Marvel conspiracy theory. Right, we love these Marvel conspiracy theories. Right. Iron Fist's been cancelled.
God.
Right, okay, well, it's not really a Marvel conspiracy. But anyway, okay, so Netflix have cancelled, they've announced Iron Fist will be the first Marvel Netflix series to be cancelled.
Well, thank God.
They've not officially cancelled.
How did they even make a season 2?
I don't know, but given where it ends, I kind of did want to see a third one, to be honest.
Well, I haven't watched it, so...
But here's the thing, though. There's now a theory that, well, actually, that they've all said from the minute one of this announcement of cancellation, Iron Fist will be returning in other things. Don't worry. Like, Finn Jones is Iron Fist. He's going to be around. You're still going to see that
What
character.
was the one called with it? Was it Defenders? Where they were
The Defenders, when they were all together, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is the thing. So, the idea now is he going to turn up on one of the Netflix shows? Or, since Disney are conveniently launching their own streaming service with those fancy-ass Marvel shows on, will they simply wait until Luke Cage is cancelled and do Heroes for Hire? Or will they do Sisters of the Dragon? Or will they do any goddamn Iron Fist thing they want on the streaming platform?
No, nobody wants to see Danny Rand ever again.
I don't know, because what's the one thing that could make Danny Rand actually interesting? Maybe if he interacted with the Marvel world a bit more.
I mean, to be fair, I really enjoyed Defenders.
I did. Yeah, I mean, I'll be really honest about Defenders. I mean, a good chunk of the enjoyment of Defenders comes from the fact that, of the Defenders team, 3/4 of them are pretty determined to beat the crap out of Danny Rand and tell him how much he sucks.
That's pretty much the greatest thing about it.
Yeah, it's the greatest thing. It's like every 2 minutes someone just wants to smack Danny Rand.
Especially when it's Luke Cage.
I just feel like there was some sort of agreement in the writers' room for that series. Like, for every line Danny Rand has, someone punches him in the face. You last week asked me about Michael Pena doing Fantasy Island.
Yes.
Right, here's some news you're going to really love.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have another name in talks to join Fantasy Island. It's a good one.
Yep.
Right, I've not looked up who he's in talks to play. I just want to check. Come on. Wait for it. No, okay. This could have been an amazing bit of casting.
Oh, no.
Right. Dave Bautista is in negotiations to join, right? Okay.
To join Mickey Penn.
Right, okay. Now, in the original version, and by the way, I did find out who did play Mr. Rourke in the 90s version. It was Malcolm McDowell.
Wait, didn't you? You told me that.
Did I?
You did. I'm sure you did.
Okay, it was Malcolm McDowell. Anyway,
Because I was like, really?
Ricardo Montalban, then it was Malcolm McDowell. Okay. Well, Batista, I did think was going to play Mr. Rourke's assistant, whose name I can never remember, but he's a dwarf. Mm-hmm. And I thought, okay, well, if you're going to recast...
Is this the one? Was it The Planes?
Yes.
Is that
That's
Fantasy
Island, yes.
Ah, okay.
Right. I did think, though, if you're going to reinvent that for the 21st century and you put a spin on it...
Yeah, a huge giant man.
Huge giant man instead of... Yeah, okay, that
works.
Playing with the expectation. And Batista... You know, especially next to Michael Pena, that would be kind of hilarious.
And nothing goes over his head.
Yeah.
Because he would catch it.
Don't you imagine Michael Pena as being like 4'9"?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I'm sure he's not. I'm sure he's like 6 foot something.
He's probably about 6 foot, isn't he?
Yeah.
But you just imagine him to be like 4'9".
Itty bitty.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I think it's because he's so little and bouncy.
Yeah.
But anyway, apparently, so we have more details. So, Michael Pena, as we know, is Mr. Rourke. Batista's going to play a former guest who is on the island against his will and wants to expose Mr. Rourke.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't quite know, but...
I don't want Batista to be a baddie.
Right. Here's the thing, though. We have learnt more about this movie, it seems. Mm-hmm. Because there's stuff in here...
Because the concept before was that new people came every week and they got their fantasy...
Come true.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So
I was going to say delivered. That doesn't seem right. Their fantasy was delivered.
Right. This has now been described as Westworld meets Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, that's a bit different.
Right. The idea is a group of contest winners arrive at this idyllic island resort, to live out their greatest fantasies, only to find themselves facing their greatest nightmares.
Oh, this is very different.
Well, this is Sony and Blumhouse are making this.
Oh, now I'm so much more excited for it.
Exactly. Wait for it, because it gets more insane. Jimmy O. Yang is going to give him his proper name, but Jimmy Yang from Crazy Rich Asians, Silicon Valley, Life of the Party, he's going to be in this as well. The only thing that kind of puts me off it a little bit is it is being directed by Jeff Wadlow.
Who's that?
Jeff Wadlow directed Truth or Dare and Kick-Ass 2.
Oh, Truth or Dare is hilarious.
Oh, I know, right? It's so bad.
So bad.
Like, even, what's her name, Violet Bean from The Flash couldn't make me enjoy that movie.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, she's Jessie Quick on The Flash. Right, so we have an actor from Snowfall who has been cast as the villain of Rambo, Last Blood. Yes, so I've been looking forward to saying his name out loud. Sergio Perimenchetta.
Oh, him!
He is. In fact, if I show you the picture, you might recognise him.
Nope.
He is going to be a South American sort of drug lord who's running a human sex trafficking ring.
Yep, they all do.
Rocky's mate's granddaughter has been caught up in.
Sure.
And he goes off to Mexico to find her, and he teams up with a journalist whose sister is also in the sex ring.
I'm literally asleep already.
It just sounds like the perfectly average thing that Stallone stars in.
It just sounds like every other movie that he's done.
Pretty much.
Or maybe kind of every other movie he's done, but they've kind of mushed them all together.
Well, I mean, it sounds very close to the plot of was it Rambo, wasn't it? Or John Rambo? Or Rambo, whatever they called the last one.
Whatever it was called.
Right, okay, I'll give you one last piece of news.
Go on then.
Okay, so Richard Venk, who is the writer of the Equalizer movies, has revealed that he's apparently completed a script for a reimagining of Universal Soldier.
Hey?
Yeah, I know. Apparently there is a demand for this. So,
okay.
Yeah. Did you ever see Universal Soldier?
It really didn't appeal to me.
Right, so the idea of Universal Soldier, as far as I remember it, is I think Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren were soldiers in, I think, Vietnam. And they were killed in action, and then they were resurrected in 1992 as cyborgs.
Sounds about right.
And this is the version of a cyborg that they play.
Yep.
I have a half a goggle on.
I have a light near my eye.
Yes, there is a light source on a half a goggle on one half of my head, but I am wearing a prototype smartwatch. Yeah, so apparently he's doing this reimagining. It's going to be a complete sort of rejig.
Okay, why not just do a different film?
Yeah, it's just, I don't care.
It's like the whole Chucky sequel where he's like a AI toy.
Yeah,
Whatever. Where you just like, but you're not. It's like that's
Chucky.
not Chucky.
Make another one.
Yeah. Just do a creepy doll. Whatever. So we've got Annabelle. We accept other creepy dolls.
Can I tell you about an experience I had this week?
Yeah, sure.
That Dogman.
Pete Dogman.
So I couldn't make the screening. So I got sent a screening link.
Okay.
From Kizzle, which was very nice of them. And I put it on my Vimeo account on my TV. And sat down. Didn't think about the fact that it was called Dogman, did I? I sat down with my dog next to me.
Aww.
Who, of course, hates
the other dogs.
Yeah, hates the other dogs. She does not understand that high definition is not real. So she runs at the TV, she barks because the dog appears literally the opening frame of this. And in the end, I had to watch it on my iPad, which is, is one of the big, massive
It's a pretty big one, I'll be honest.
iPad, yeah. And I had to angle it at an angle she couldn't see the dogs.
Aww.
I had to have my headphones on, sat there on my couch with the iPad tilted at a certain angle, right in front of my head. So I'll be honest, it kind of looked like an IMAX screen.
You are such a pushover when it comes to your dog.
I am. And you know what? I still thought the movie was fantastic. So imagine how good it must be on a big screen.
Oh, excellent.
But,
well done, Lola.
Right, so, well, I mean, that's the end of the show for me.
Oh, that's a shame.
Anything you want to add? Anything cinematic? I mean...
I'll try my best to see Venom before next week.
Are you excited about the chilling adventures of Sabrina? Or...
Actually, I am looking forward to that.
Sounds interesting, doesn't it?
It does.
Daredevil 3, that's coming.
I couldn't get into Riverdale, which is like the thing, but Sabrina, I'll give it a go.
I saw most of Cruel Intentions on Sky Cinema the other night. Still great.
Which
Still
bits?
Great. Actually, pretty late in the movie for a change. I usually see the first half. This single time was the second half.
Okay.
And
that's when the good stuff happens.
Did you know that Selma Blair is like one of the oldest when they're actually filming that?
What, in real life?
Yeah. Like, she was one of the oldest ones when they're actually, like, by several years.
I do feel like she's done that thing where she looked really, really young for ages.
Yeah.
And then she just suddenly flipped and it was like, oh.
Selma Blair did go. Selma Blair went from about 15 to 40 overnight.
Overnight.
It is very true. It is. She went from being able to play a 15-year-old to being able to play a 40-year-old instantaneously.
Instantly.
It was very strange. It seemed to happen about 7 or 8 years ago, I want to say. About anger management time.
I remember when I saw the trailer to Mom and Dad and I was like, married to Nick, Selma Blair. And then I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
She look old now.
She can convincingly be, what's her name, Kardashian's wife? You know
Rob yeah, she was Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner. She can now convincingly play Kris Jenner in the 90s.
She really looked like her.
She really did, didn't she? Gave me all sorts of uncomfortable feelings about Kris Jenner, I'm not going to lie. But and I don't want to get involved with our family. But yeah, so there was a point to some of the...
I was saying I will try and see Venom before next week.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping it's still in the box office top 5. I don't think it will be.
I don't think it will be, no.
I don't think it will, unless I see it that many times.
Yeah.
Just to maintain it so that I can have an opinion on it.
Did you see anything else this week? Even at home, I mean, anything new?
Do you know, I've been so busy. I don't think I have. I watched Casualty, you know.
You watched Casualty?
I love me some Casualty. We've been obsessing over Criminal Minds lately, so we're rewatching every Criminal Minds.
Well, it's the TV season has started up for me, so I've been watching my superhero shows. Been watching my Arrow.
Watching your stories.
Been watching my Arrow. Prisoner 4587. Yeah, that's... and do you know what? Really, because that's an abandoned movie.
Yes, I remember you saying.
Because it's the abandoned David Goyer movie Supermax is now the storyline. And Vinnie Jones is in it.
Is he?
Never knew. Didn't even know Vinnie Jones was in it. Yeah. So there's that. Supergirl's back, which is great. Linda Carter seems to have a bigger role this time around. You know, the original Wonder Woman. I've not seen any of Legends of Tomorrow. I think that's like next week. And The Flash is back. And it stars... it now stars Jessica Parker Kennedy as the sort of adult daughter of Barry Allen.
What?
From the future.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because time travel's a thing in the Flash. So she's XS and she's trapped in the past.
Come to back, and she'd go forward.
She's come to save the future.
Yep.
She's come to save the future.
Yep.
She's played by Jessica Parker Kennedy.
She moves really fast.
She does move really fast.
When she moves fast, she moves time.
Yeah, she's XS.
XS.
Like literally XS. Yeah.
I get it, because also it's like the word excess.
Yeah, exactly. It's clever. It's clever, isn't it?
Clever.
Yeah,
Smart,
And the costume's very close to the comics. And Jessica Parker Kennedy is the most beautiful human I've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she makes me want to be Canadian.
Rude.
But the girlfriend doesn't make me want to be Canadian. Like, that, if she suddenly one day randomly made me want to be Canadian. I mean, I am aware we are saying this on the day they legalised weed, by the way.
What, in Canada?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
The chillest people in the world now have, chillest people in the world now have
Even
weed.
more chill.
But, yeah.
Excellent.
Like that. But, speaking of chill, here it is. Your moment of cage.
What? What do you want? What do you think? No. Yes. No, come on. This is not fair, man. Come on. Call the cop. No. Hey. No, get out of here, man. You've got the wrong attitude about all this, Cyrus. You got to keep positive. You see, when we have these little visits, I allow you, I permit you, I give you the opportunity to pay for all the extra police work that you create. That doesn't feel nice to contribute to society for a change?
Come on! Don't do that! Come on! You got a bad attitude, you hypocrite! What makes you think you're better than me?
Friend, Cyrus. Everybody loves Rick Santoro.